Hello, and welcome back. I'm one of your three hosts, Urbia.
I'm Maeve.
And I'm Jen, and you join us today for another article from Movieweb titled Disney is Done Taking Risks with Star Wars Directors by Kevin Burswick. Berwick. I'm sorry. It starts with Disney has had a lot of luck working with new directors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Taika Waititi, I am very sorry if I butchered that. Ryan Coogler and James Gunn have all brought massive success to Disney and the MCU by stepping out of the box and showing well-known characters in a different light. However, when it comes to working with Star Wars franchise, it seems Disney will now step away from taking chances with newer directors, according to a recent report. It is now rumored that Lucasfilm will only use proven veteran talent who they know can handle a big budget Star Wars production. Guess that means Ethan von Schiefer is out of the question. I have I'm butchering these names except for the van. It's fun. Yeah. It's not van, it's fun.
Yeah, true.
I know that for a fact. It's fun, not van. I want to correct that now, here, forever.
Fun.
Well, okay, on a more serious note, who gives a shit what directors they use? Look, Kathleen micromanages all of these people. It will make no difference.
We've been telling you this for so fucking long. We've been telling you this for so fucking long. Like, I don't understand how you guys still don't get it, okay? You know, you should have done this from the get-go. Why did you hire Ryan Johnson, whose only proper film creditation was fucking Looper? Like, why would you give someone like that who's not tried and tested to handle such a huge franchise, you know? And then on top of it all, you're saying, oh no, it's cool, you know, much like what Margin mentioned just now, you know? Why would you then even bother getting new directors if you're going to keep Kathleen Kennedy on? We haven't heard anything going on there. But if she keeps on micromanaging, nothing's going to change.
You can have Steven Spielberg, young Steven Spielberg, as the director for this movie. And it would still make no difference if he has Kathleen constantly hovering over him, telling him...
writers, who are these writers? Like, I mean, we know Ryan Johnson was one of the writers, but still, oh my god.
How about this? Give these directors full creative freedom.
Isn't that what these new directors have in the Marvel universe anyway?
Yes, they get creative freedom and then they're able to make good movies. It's like such a mind-boggling thing to understand, apparently.
These people don't understand the concept of a filter. I mean, you can have good ideas, bad ideas. If you run them through the same filter, which is Kathleen Kennedy's mind, the same bullshit is going to come out at the end. That's what her system produces.
Yep. But I mean, look, maybe we still don't know. We haven't heard anything from Disney regarding Kathleen Kennedy. But okay.
The guy is still, I'm pretty sure the PR guy taped her mouth shut, like, quiet.
Maybe he zipped it closed.
Yeah. Bound her hands behind the chair. Like, no phone, no talking, nothing. I have to fix your shit, so stay quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
You're in the Disney bunker.
Should I continue or?
Yes.
Okay. According to Star Wars Newsnet, the days of Disney and Lucasfilm experimenting with younger directors are over. A quick glance at what has happened since Disney acquired Lucasfilm seems to prove that, even without an announcement. But what exactly constitutes a veteran director for the studio? Ryan Johnson had only a few credits to his name before tackling The Last Jedi, which, while it was a box office success, it was one of the most divisive Star Wars movies in franchise history. And he is now writing his own trilogy.
Wow, this guy makes a point in this paragraph. Surprisingly, he actually says that why was he responsible for,
why is he
The Last
currently
Jedi?
responsible for a trilogy?
I said it just now, and he's still, why is he currently responsible for his own trilogy? It makes no sense. Why?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, the most divisive Star Wars movie, and the guy gets his own trilogy. Like, he wasn't even supposed to be a part of Star Wars. I don't know how he got the job. It was supposed to be J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think anybody knows, except for Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, it's like, is there a secret sex cult or something, and they're both a part of it? Like, Eyes Wide Shut, that's what I imagine's going on.
I don't want to imagine Johnson naked. That's because who knows what he's got going on down there. Probably just
Like, you know, he was sucking Kathleen Kennedy's tit, and that's how they got the idea for that scene.
No. You see, he's into He's into Shiza porn, and then he wanted to
he was
use.
what if Kathleen Kennedy was sucking his tit? Like, equal opportunity.
Look, let's
Ryan Johnson has green milk.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, look, let's be honest. He's into Shiza porn. He used the Shiza.
Yeah.
He used that inspiration to create.
I do not need these mental images. Ryan Johnson naked was bad enough. Now him smeared in Shiza. It's just gonna.
Yeah.
Well, look, he did the same to his script. So what can you do? But okay, it carries on. Colin Trevorrow already had great success with Jurassic World, and he ended up leaving the development process of Star Wars 9, later calling Lucasfilm acidic. Yeah. Trevorrow signed up in August of 2015 and wrote the screenplay for the third and final installment of the latest trilogy with Derek Connolly, only to be let go at the beginning of this year and replaced with J.J. Abrams, who directed 2015's The Force Awakens. Gareth Edwards had Godzilla under his belt, which was a pretty massive production, but he was replaced during the reshoots and editing process for Rogue One by Tony Gilroy. Okay.
Just information dump.
Yeah,
much.
he's just saying, he's just reaffirming, essentially. He's like, all of these decisions were made by Kathleen Kennedy. Like, all of these decisions. So, like, if you allow creative freedom, like, I don't have anything bad against, upcoming directors and everything, but sometimes you need directors who actually care about Star Wars and who aren't trolls. And the problem is with Ryan Johnson, he was both of those things. He didn't care about Star Wars, and he was a troll.
Yeah. No,
Remember,
he says he likes it when people hate his movies.
Yeah, which
I don't understand how you go into a profession with that mindset. That's a pretty sick way to think about it. I mean, I hate my job, but that doesn't mean I like it if people hate me doing my job. It's not the same thing. Logic. Disliking what you do for a living, that's common, but basking in how much people hate you for what you're doing, that's not healthy. That's how your dictators come to power.
Shit, he's starting to sound more like he is a sadist, really, than anything else.
Masochist.
But he's enjoying both of them. Because he keeps on trolling the fans whenever they try to give him criticism. So he enjoys the fans giving him criticism only so that he can shove it right back in their face and troll on them. It's
ridiculous. This troll culture.
It is like he's insulting the fans. He's not hearing the fans, and then he's causing the fans pain. Meanwhile, he's enjoying the fans' torment.
Exactly. He's planning on making money on the next trilogy.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
This guy is not healthy. I'm legitimately worried for his health.
Like, what the hell is wrong with him? But okay.
The article continues. Chris Miller and Phil Lord were odd choices from the beginning to be taking on Solo, a Star Wars story. But Lucasfilm and Disney backed them at the very beginning before firing them last summer and hiring Ron Howard to come in and reshoot nearly all of the film. We all know how that turned out.
Yep.
Lucasfilm obviously knows what they are doing when it comes to managing the... Am I reading that right? Lucasfilm obviously knows what they are doing when it comes to managing the Star Wars legacy. What?
No, wait, reread that sentence again. It can't be right.
No, seriously, am I reading that
okay,
right?
let me see. Let me try reading. Lucasfilm obviously knows what they're doing when it comes to managing the Star Wars legacy. Yeah, I read it the same.
I thought I was just reading like shit again. Okay. We'll get to that. Get through this with minds in pain. But it may be time to put as much trust as they did into Rian Johnson, into other directors that they hired and later fired. This, okay.
We'll get
While
back to
Johnson's movies were controversial, to say the least, bullshit to say the truth, I'm sorry, that was unprofessional of me again. It took chances and showed longtime fans a Star Wars film that they've never seen before, and hopefully ever again.
Never again.
Oh boy!
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You showed us something.
You showed something.
You showed something. You showed something, all right.
Now, they obviously know what they're doing, though, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, they.
Right.
Oh boy, they're doing a great job.
Jeez, Movieweb, how much did that sentence cost you? I hope you've pocketed a nice tiny profit from that. Because it's quite obvious that Lucasfilm has no idea what they're doing with Star Wars. Hell, any person even likes Star Wars, these newest Star Wars movies, would have to admit that they clearly don't know where they're going with
And guess
this.
what? Based off of the Solo box office, most people agree, not just the Star Wars fans. You fucking idiots. You
Like,
have
did
no
this guy
clue
write
what
the
you're
sentence on opposite day or something? Like,
I
what's
don't
going
know.
on?
I don't know.
Halfway
Maybe
through this paragraph, I got lost. It was about
maybe this guy has an evil twin that wrote this article for him. I don't fucking know. Like, honestly.
He turned into Mr. Hyde.
It's as good a theory as any.
Yeah. Okay, Urbia, carry on. The last paragraph.
This isn't to say that what Ron Howard did with Solo was bad, or what Tony Gilroy did to the end of Rogue One was bad either. It's more of a commentary of how well Disney and Marvel Studios have worked with younger and less well-known directors to deliver the goods. Granted, the Lucasfilm and Disney relationship isn't as long as the Marvel ties, and Star Wars is arguably the bigger franchise, but there's something to be said about taking chances and seeing them through until the end. You can read more about the Disney and Lucasfilm saga at Star Wars News Net. Okay, and that's the end of the article. So, what do you think this guy was trying to convey with this article? Like,
I don't know. He's flip-flopping.
Yeah, he's going all over the place. He makes. Yeah,
okay, I have to give him credit. He reports on the fact that Disney is now getting. It's only putting veteran directors in, but then he goes on to defend the directors that were fired. So I don't know what side of the argument
he
he's
goes
coming
all
down on.
over the place. He simultaneously insults Disney and at the same time strokes its dick.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's like jacking someone off while gently swatting at their balls. You know, it's.
yeah.
I'm not sure what we're trying to do here.
I don't know what the point that he was trying to make here was. Is the point that he's trying to say is that Disney have heard us and are giving proper directors the chance to make movies now? Meanwhile,
But he seems
still
kind of
giving
butthurt.
Yeah, meanwhile
'Cause he
still
says,
giving Rian
like,
Johnson
studios-
the trilogy. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I
Yeah,
don't.
and he mentions that, like, younger, less well-known directors have worked before. Like, look at Creed. Creed was made by a brand new director, and that movie turned out okay.
Yes, but young and imaginative directors were not the problem. Them being micromanaged by Kathleen Kennedy was the problem.
He's essentially trying to say that that the fans are responsible for Disney putting better suited directors into the jobs, and then he's also criticizing this
Disney for taking
decision.
out those directors.
He's criticizing this decision because MCU used younger and not more experienced
And it
directors.
seemingly worked for them.
And it seemingly worked for them. So, like, what is he trying to say? I mean, look, it's up to all of
I
you
think
to
this
decide.
is one of the ones where we'd have to say,
This
read
is
the
up to
story and
interpretation.
decide
Yeah.
for yourselves.
Yeah.
Decide for yourselves what this guy's trying to say, because he's
he-
talking like a madman.
Yeah, ever since I read the sentence where Lucasfilm obviously knows what they're doing, it threw me.
And look, whatever this guy is on, I want some right now.
Yeah.
I agree with the part. It doesn't, like, the issue isn't really veteran or new directors. Like, you can bring a veteran director like Uwe Boll. Like, he's considered veteran. He's made like a lot of movies, but like, does anyone want to see a Uwe Boll movie? Like,
No.
that would be horrible. Like,
Yes.
those movies suck ass.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to see a Star Wars German tax law loophole movie. We all saw
yeah, but
Blood
like, then
Rain.
look at like
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. At some point, he was a new director, and his new movies were avant-garde considered at the time.
You know what the
Yes,
problem?
but
I don't
creative
mind new
is?
directors.
Creative
Yeah,
it's
freedom
just the
is what
quality.
defines
Yeah, the
these.
quality. You know what? How about this? Don't fire your directors halfway through the fucking making of the film. Allow your directors to have a vision that they want to go through, and don't find a director like Rian Johnson who doesn't actually have technically a vision of his own. He listens to you, and then he bases a story about what you fucking want, Kathleen Kennedy. Rian Johnson is just your little puppet, and Lucasfilm is your plaything. And that's why you need to get the fuck out of Lucasfilm.
Look, I maintain my old theory. I think I said it in... Well, okay, we said it in one of the previous podcasts, where their plan is to obviously get rid of the old Star Wars fans and repopulate it with a new fan base. But
That's not gonna work.
I don't see
Yeah.
how that works. Only half of that plan is working. Yes, you've chased away all of
You've
the...
alienated the fans.
Yeah, you've alienated the fans, the ones that were going to give you money. But I don't see these new movies getting any sort of cult following. At least not to
Because
the
they're
same
average.
scale we were Star Wars
Yeah.
fans.
They're average at best. They're average at best. You know? Like you can't expect new fans to flock to it when it's not that great. You know, there's, you know, you've isolated the fans. Now you want the new fans, the people who still didn't go to see Solo, to come and see your movie.
I still don't understand why they even bought Star Wars in the first place. There's a channel, History Buffs, on YouTube. That guy makes brilliant reviews of historical films. In his review of From Hell, he makes a valid point. The movie's supposed to be about Jack the Ripper, but it's so fictionalized that it just veers off into a tangent. And he points out, if the story is such a burden to you, your movie, why make it that movie? If we, the fans, and the original trilogy are such a fucking burden to you, then why make a Star Wars movie? Make any other sci-fi film, and we'd be sitting here. In fact, we won't be sitting here. It was The Last Jedi that even made us do this podcast. We'd be sitting just in this room now, drinking beers, talking about the very average sci-fi movie we saw.
Yes.
Rather than the shit Star Wars movie we saw.
Yeah.
True,
You-
true.
you-
Like, we would forget about the movie. It'd be like, what was it? Like Jupiter Ascending or something. Like, it would be
Yeah,
a horrible
exactly.
sci-fi movie, and
But the
people
thing
forget
is,
about it.
this is Star Wars. They need to adhere to a certain level of quality, and they're just not doing it. And I'm not talking about quality in the terms of how the movie looks. You know, I'm talking about the story, that which is the cornerstone
The characters.
of every single movie. The story, the characters, motivation, hardship. All of these things make for a great movie, but you're not giving us any of this.
And swapping out directors in Lucasfilm is the equivalent of sticking a band-aid on a broken leg. You're not addressing the core issue at all.
Yep.
If your appendix bursts and you take painkillers, you're still gonna die. If you replace the director without either restricting or firing Kathleen Kennedy, the source of the disease has not been addressed. You've only addressed the symptom.
Yes, prevention is better than cure.
So,
Because curing it is going to fucking take forever, and you could have prevented it.
I
Whatever.
still absolutely love those jokes that are going on 9gag now, where they're pointing out Disney's logic, when they said that they've introduced now the new director policy, and that they're putting all the spin-offs on hold, where they're going, so you're putting on hold the Kenobi movie that everybody wanted to see because the Solo movie that nobody wanted to see didn't do well.
Yeah, but remember,
That's good market research there, Disney. Well fucking done.
I mean, look, their logic. But look, let's be honest. Their marketing research, their PR, all of that is doing a terrible job. And there's probably just some random guy at Disney who has been telling them for years now to do it this way, and they just kept on ignoring him. But okay, anything else, guys? I think, you guys who are listening to this, you can make your own, assumptions based off of this. This is a very strange article.
Yeah, you can tell us which director you would like to see.
Yes, it kind of feels like this article switched writers halfway through it.
Yeah, oh my
And it
god.
was
it's so
rewritten.
Yeah, like, it honestly feels like that. But okay. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time.